Coming up on Bar Songs and Stories.
Hey, Goat Man. It's good to see you, buddy. And I'd never met this guy before in my entire life, because the Goat Man was also the Weed Man, and he was just trying to get stoned, and he'd had a few drinks, and it's not hard to find a heavyset bearded guy in Wisconsin. I had started basically waxing poetic about how good this order of baked beans was as a side dish.
Because I know I get sad and soppy when I don't get my baked beans.
That's right.
Do you have an overall message that you're trying to reach in your music, or is it just storytelling to you?
On to Altoona to Brick and Ivy Rooftop. Today's guest has songs inspired by all sorts of colorful characters across the country, from places you may have never heard of before. A true naturel of the storytelling craft. Bar Songs and Stories features multi-award-winning singer-songwriter Jordan Messerole.
Welcome to the show. I'm Hank Ambrose, your host, where we go on the road to different bars from all across the state and all across the Midwest, finding hidden gems of all the friends that we have. And today, we bring on Jordan Messerole. Jordan is of Iowa's capital city, and we are hosted today by Brick and Ivy Rooftop in Altoona. Jordan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Man, I love your songwriting.
Thank you.
The fact that you can make up a character and bring them to life in a way that makes them feel like my neighbor is just quite incredible. Talk to us about your writing abilities and how you got started.
Sure. I mean, when I got started, I was, not plunging the depths of my upbringing and my life story or anything like that. So it was just a lot of storytelling, and that was a lot of what I listened to when I was growing, getting into creating music, was listening to people like Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt that were just doing a lot more of that storytelling thing. And I've led a relatively milquetoast life, so it's hard to draw from a lot of that inspiration, because everything's just been, pretty nice for me. So I can't really spend a lot of time talking about, the fast food that I eat on the way to shows or something like that. So I just got to tell stories as they come to me, and I meet a lot of people out on the road, so I'm using a lot of other people's life stories to bring these songs to life.
Jordan, we know where you're from now, but where are you from originally?
Sure. I was from Spirit Lake, Iowa. I was born in Sac City, which is a very, very small town near Storm Lake, which is also a small town. And I moved to Spirit Lake when I was very young, and I lived there until I was 18. And then I went to college, failed out of college, moved back, lived in Spirit Lake for a little while longer, and lived in Cherokee for a while with my wife, and then moved to Des Moines about 5 years ago. I
think we know plenty of people that have kind of gone through that similar route, and I'm sure that's probably helping in your writing style.
Definitely. I mean, it's just not finishing college, I think, has prohibited me from having gainful employment at any point in time. And so I've just been in that sort of blue-collar factory work sort of thing since I was, 20 years old, 22 years old, and so I've gotten to know that lifestyle and the people that live it on a daily basis as well, and that's helped with the inspiration for sure.
I also love that you write so many songs about the Midwest. You hear lyrics describing the landscape, the people you may meet, and you even mention like Casey's in your songs, which I love. That's a staple for us. Yep. But you go outside of Iowa and you even head to Wisconsin. Yeah,
I get kind of all over the place with touring. I played in 24 different states and just kind of bounce all over, but Wisconsin's always kind of a constant, at least a couple times a year, to a few different locations there.
The first song we'll be playing today is about a town in Wisconsin. Is this a real town, or is
it is? Yeah, it's technically a village. I think they're a village if you were to find it on a map, but they're the village of Trempealeau. Yeah.
So talk to us about how you came up with this song. Was there any living experience, or did you just throw a dart at the map?
There was. So I went there. I'd done a little short run up into Minnesota and then over into the UP of Michigan, and came back down through Wisconsin to get home. And I stopped at Trempealeau, Wisconsin, at the Trempealeau Hotel, Restaurant, and Saloon. It's this beautiful old bar and restaurant that's right by the river. Trempealeau itself is this quaint little village right by the Mississippi River there in the driftless region of southwest Wisconsin. And I had set up for a show there. It was a summertime show, 3 hours, the middle of the afternoon, out on a deck where I was relatively uncovered and in direct sunlight, and wasn't psyched about it. And so I went into the bar, got a beer to get myself in the right mindset, and as I turned away from the bar, I was confronted by this guy who had to be 50, maybe 60 years old, and had to be well into a 12-pack, if not a case. And he looks me dead in the eyes, kind of, and he says, "Hey, Goat Man, it's good to see you, buddy." And I'd never met this guy before in my entire life. And so I told him, I said, "Well, I'm not the Goat Man. I don't know who you're looking for, but it's not me." And then I just peeled away from it because I wasn't going to talk to him, because talking to drunk people when you're sober still is a nightmare.
Sure.
And so I just decided to walk away from him and go start my work. And so I went out and started the set, and I got 2 or 3 songs in, and the same guy wandered out into the deck where I was playing, and he sat down next to a guy that sort of looked like me. You know, it's not hard to find a heavy-set bearded guy in Wisconsin at a bar. And he sits down next to this guy, and he puts his hand on his knee, and he says, "Hey, Goat Man, it's good to see you, buddy." And this guy was also not Goat Man and had never seen this person before in his entire life either. And so at this point in time, the owner came out, and she kicked this guy out, and he went away rather peaceably, which I was surprised by, because, you know, he was drinking pretty heavy pretty early on a Saturday, and then got kicked out, and he went away no problem. And I learned that's because every single Saturday this guy showed up to this Trempolo Hotel Restaurant and Saloon in an attempt to try and find the Goat Man, because the Goat Man was also the weed man, and he was just trying to get stoned, and he'd had a few drinks, and but he went away rather peaceably, and I kind of forgot about it, because I do this like 150 times a year, and I meet all kinds of weird people, you know, and it just kind of in one ear out the other, and I didn't think about it and just went about my work. And got to be the end of the set, and by this time it had gotten to be nighttime, and it was dark outside, and I was set in with just floodlights pointed directly at me, so all I could see were the silhouettes of people that were walking around. And there's a screen door that leads out to this deck, and it creaked open and slammed shut, and this large silhouetted figure walks out, and a couple seconds later that same screen door creaks open and slams shut, and a smaller shadowed figure walks out and is pointing at this first person and waving their hands trying to get my attention. And so I assumed that was the Goat Man, and it certainly turned out to be. This is a real person. What? And I learned that he was called the Goat Man because he lived on an acreage outside of Trempolo where he raised goats, and he would bring goats to events, or people would come to his acreage to buy goat products. And he was also, you know, dealt in weed as well. And so we hung out after the show, and we talked about that and what I was doing, and we just had this great conversation. But the whole entire time he had his girlfriend with him there, and she was kind of lamenting the fact of having to live in a small town, and maybe even worse, in the country outside of a small town, because she was used to the hustle and bustle of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
I see.
A real big city. And she was just complaining and complaining, and here we're having this great time learning about each other, and all she could do is complain about it. And so I took some of that information and some of her lamentations and just turned it into a song about trying to get out of where you are because you feel stuck in that place, and that's how that song came to be.
Well, to the Goat Man.
All right. I've been working in this bar since I was 18 years old. When a lantern-jawed man, he came in out of the cold. He had a worn-out Stormy Cromer, and there were stories to be told. In 5 years working here, I never let anyone take me home. I'm trying to leave Trempolo. For so long I don't even know when the urge to up and go struck me. Folks will tell you that a river town is a good place to lay your roots down. That ain't the truth that I had found, trust me. He had to wear the skin from a decade of working on the train. And that black mustache looked just like a pair of angel wings. And that silver-tongued devil, well, he talked me into some things. But I fucked him 'cause he bought top-shelf booze and cocaine. I'm trying to leave Trempolo. For so long I don't even know when the urge to up and go struck me. Folks will tell you that a river town is a good place to lay your roots down. That ain't the truth that I had found, trust me. Well, he was gone by morning, and I never even got his name. Was a hell of a good time, so losing him's a crying shame. But a new one's no trouble, they flock to this bar like moths to flame. It's a brand new day, but as they say, the shit's the same. I'm trying to leave Trempealeau, for so long I don't even know when the urge to up and go struck me. Folks will tell you that a river town is a good place to lay your roots down. That ain't the truth that I had found, trust me. I'm trying to leave Trempealeau, for so long I don't even know when the urge to up and go struck me. Folks will tell you that a river town is a good place to lay your roots down. That ain't the truth that I had found, trust me. I'm trying to leave Trempealeau. I'm trying to leave Trempealeau.
Trying to leave Trempealeau, about a village in Wisconsin with the Goat Man. There's no way I could have ever guessed.
Yeah, it's a convoluted story. It's longer than the song is, I think, but it's a fun one.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know we've talked in the past before about writing about random people that have came through your life, maybe the Goat Man being one of them.
Yeah.
And you gave us an inside look on how you find writing through maybe people watching, if you will. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. Are there any other ways you find writing inspiration, or does it just kind of hit you?
You know, sometimes it just kind of comes to me. You come up with you hear something or say something and it feels like it could be the title of a song, and you just kind of write it down and hold on to it and roll with it from that point, and see what you can come out of it, because you have a baseline idea, you can start to build from there into whatever you're trying to put together.
Did you see that? That was a Goat Man, I think.
I was trying not to break, but
is that another one of his other spells that he does?
That's right.
Well, we're early on in our trying to do this show here. I think there's going to be some
That's all right.
Crazy stuff that happens.
It's live takes.
Yeah. Anyway, talk to us about some of your heroes in songwriting.
Sure. Yeah. I mentioned earlier that, Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt were pretty fundamental in the beginning of learning songwriting and things like that I just would listen to those guys nonstop. But right now, for me, James McMurtry, I think, is about as good as it gets. He's a songwriter out of Central Texas. His dad wrote Lonesome Dove. Larry McMurtry wrote Lonesome Dove.
Oh.
And so I think that sort of gritty storytelling is just in his blood. And he's a smart guy and a hell of a writer, and he just makes really cool music as well, a great guitar player. And so he's kind of my leading influence. Out of Minnesota is another guy named Eric Koskinen that just makes the coolest shit you've ever heard. And so those guys really kind of lead the forefront of what I'm listening to. But a lot of full bands as well, Turnpike Troubadours, that sort of energy and sound is influential and just great to listen to.
Townes Van Zandt wrote a lot of hits that people may or may not have known.
Definitely.
Very famous one with Waylon and Willie.
Yeah.
Poncho and Lefty.
Yep, absolutely.
So he wrote songs that maybe they weren't intended for other people, but it just turned out to be
for sure
maybe more popular under Waylon and Willie than Townes Van Zandt.
Absolutely.
Have you written songs dedicated to other people or for other artists?
Not so much. That's kind of what I've been doing this whole entire time, is just writing songs that I want to hear, and they're all more or less just for me. But I have to share them in order to make a living. But I just write for myself and what I want to hear, and I'd like to think that they're decent enough that other people want to hear them too. But it's this sort of double-edged sword where I get to do whatever I want to do, but then also I'm writing songs that are 6 minutes long about driving a car at night that doesn't really have a purpose, and it becomes pretty pointless to a lot of people. But I just think the process of creating is as important as anything else. And so just writing for myself and making what I want to make and hoping that people are going to come along for the ride is all I can hope for.
The next song that you're about to play for us is titled Summer Thunder.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us about writing that song and what that's about?
Definitely. So my wife and I moved to Des Moines about 5 years ago, and we came in June of 2020. So that was right at the very beginning of the whole COVID pandemic sort of a thing. And we had come from a very, very small town. We both grew up and lived in small towns for the bulk of our lives. And we moved to Des Moines. And shortly, the first night that we moved in, we hadn't gotten everything unpacked right away, of course. And we had a cat at the time, and in the middle of the night, that cat jumped up on a countertop and knocked a bunch of shit over and immediately woke both of us up. And I thought for sure that someone was breaking into our house the first night that we were here in the big city, quote unquote. And that stuck in my head. And then a couple months after that, we had the derecho come through, and it was just like this clusterfuck of time.
Yeah. And
it was just sort of all of these things that on its surface felt uneasy and maybe even dangerous or scary, but was just the growing pains of our life together. And so just the idea of finding comfort in the uncomfortable is what drove that song to be made. Can hear the rain fall on a frayed blue tar, where it covers a hole in the roof, with a big limb come down in the middle of the night. Sure did scare the shit out of you. Most likely we'll brace for another storm, for our insurance kicks in, and every hair on the back of your neck stands up. With any bit of moisture in the wind, we'll take a deep breath. Don't let your fears drag you under. Don't let them drag you under. But nothing puts me at ease like summer thunder, like summer thunder. Cicadas call out from their sacred graves, where they've laid for 17 years. It's a damn sure sign of an oppressive heat, when they've all but deafened our ears. They'll descend with the sound of some Bibles play. It's enough to leave you shaking in your boots. We'll take a deep breath. Don't let your fears drag you under. Don't let them drag you under. 'Cause nothing puts me at ease like summer thunder, like summer thunder. folks next door, they're at it once more. It's time for their daily cussing match. Just screaming and slamming that old screen door. And they've long since busted its latch. Soon they'll run out of cigarettes or steam. Lose the buzz that Milwaukee's best. We'll take a deep breath. Don't let your fears drag you under. Don't let them drag you under. 'Cause nothing puts me at ease like summer thunder. Like summer thunder. 'Cause nothing puts me at ease like summer thunder.
You know, you just played a song titled Summer Thunder.
Yeah.
You have a record coming out, and I believe it's going to be on that next record.
It will be, yeah. So 3 of the 4 songs that I'll play here today are going to be on a new record called The Blue Collar Tragedies. It's the 8th full-length record that I've made so far, and we hope to have it out hopefully by August at the latest, with any luck.
And where can we find your music online?
It's all on, Apple Music, Spotify, the whole 9 yards. It's all streaming there. But if you go to my website as well, you can buy vinyl records and CDs and things like that too.
Speaking about your website,
yeah,
talk to us about the Baked Bean blog.
Jesus. All right. So that's the thing. It started as a joke to where I was out to dinner with some friends, and I had started basically waxing poetic about how good this order of baked beans was as a side dish, and everybody joked with me that I should start some sort of blog or recipe book for the best baked beans, and then I just kind of took it to heart and ran with it, because I love barbecue, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to travel all over the country, and so it became sort of this side quest, so to speak, of finding some of the best food that I could find, and baked beans just became this sort of thing that I'm synonymous with in some way. And unfortunately, I think people like the baked bean blog more than they like the music.
No,
as long as they're gravitating towards something that I make is all I really care about. But
did you expect me to bring that up today?
It's this thing that kind of always is in the back of my mind that it's going to happen for sure, because it's just stupid enough that people think it's fun or interesting to a lot of people, and I have a lot of fun with it too. But and I've gone. It's not specific to music travel either. I've gone on vacations and things, and so I've reviewed baked beans in North Carolina. I've reviewed baked beans in Northern California. So I've gone, like I say, coast to coast with the baked bean blog.
That's awesome. So can I put you on the spot and ask you, what is the best baked bean dish you've had?
That's easy.
Easy.
Cornbread barbecue in Ames is the best. It's the best barbecue I've ever had in my entire life. Flying Mango in Des Moines, their ribs are out of this world good. But Cornbread as a whole is the best barbecue ever. All of their sides are great, and their baked beans, they have a perfect 15 out of 15 score on the blog. And there's another one from somewhere else that I'm forgetting that had a perfect score as well, but far and away Cornbread in Ames is the best.
For the Baked Bean blog, go to Jordan Messerole's website. Find his music on there too.
Please.
Yeah. That's funny. And the perfect transition to go over to Cry Over Me, because I know I get sad and soppy when I don't get my baked beans.
That's right. That's good.
Is that what the song is about? Is it about being lonesome? Is it redemption?
Basically. And so I had written it without any real idea of what it was actually about. It was just kind of coming together as this narrative of a person who had had some bad luck in a relationship. And then I played it for my wife when it was all done. And my wife has a degree in English literature. And so I finished with it and I played it for her. And she said, that song kind of sounds like somebody who's been dumped. And then after being dumped, they live in a car outside their ex-partner's house. And I thought, well, I guess that's what that is then, because she's a lot smarter than me, and she's she's well read and well versed in English literature. So I thought if that's what she picked up from it, that must be what it is, and so that's what I roll with. But originally, it didn't really have a specific purpose or intent. It just kind of came together as a story, and that's what it was. I first saw you downtown while you were out running round, the old friends cutting up a rug. Well, no man stood a chance, and yet she'd ask me to dance. Said I only do that when I'm drunk. Didn't get much better from there. I told you to beware. Must have been blinded by my charms, yes. Well, try as I might, I couldn't do a damn thing right. Cut off my hands to spite my arms. Well, don't cry over me when you say goodbye to me. Well, don't cry over me, baby, and just let it be. Now you're probably standing in the kitchen with a hand on your hip, the other one's holding up a broom. Broken glass, the smell of smoke, cigarettes, and argument fills the room. Well, I bore down on you with the weight of a storm, but I hardly give you that much warning. You wisely watched as I fled and took yourself up to bed and cleaned this shit up in the morning. Well, don't cry over me when you say goodbye to me. Well, don't cry over me, baby, and just let it be. Well, I'm equal parts German, English, and asshole, and one shows up more than the others. You see my self-deprecation and ill-timed jokes are some insecurity covers. But here I sit in full confidence in this dirt brown El Camino. It's also where I live since you done what you did, and I just can't make it on my own. Well, don't cry over me when you say goodbye to me. Well, don't cry over me, baby, and just let it be. Well, don't cry over me when you say goodbye to me. Well, don't cry over me, baby, just let it be.
Cry Over Me, Jordan Messerole at Brick and Ivy Rooftop in Altoona, Iowa. Jordan, we're coming to the end of our show today, but I'd like to thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Jordan, I've always been curious listening to all your songs about different people, different, landscapes, talking about summer thunder and such. Mm. Do you have an overall message that you're trying to reach in your music, or is it just storytelling to you?
It really is just storytelling to me. It's like I had mentioned, I'm just kind of drawing inspiration from mostly from the people that I meet while I'm out on the road. And so it's this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, so to speak, to where, I learn about a story from someone and I write a song about it, and then I take that song on the road. And then while I'm out there playing that song, somebody else tells me something else interesting. And it just kind of keeps that ball rolling to where what I'm after more than anything is just sort of being a bit of a janitor for the human condition and taking in what life is to any number of people, because everybody lives it differently, which is fantastic. And everybody who does it deserves to have their story shared, I think. And so it's all just been really a storytelling sort of personal connection thing for me more than anything else.
I've never heard a more beautiful description of a janitor.
A fundamental part of our society.
Self-proclaimed, though, so I think I'm okay there, right? Yeah. Also, Blue Collar Tragedies is coming out. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
More details on Blue Collar Tragedies. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Sure. So with that record, it's the eighth full-length record that I've made so far. And I got together with Kevin Neal, who's a studio owner and producer at Red 7 Recording in Des Moines here. And we put together a 10-song record that's real good, and we've been working on it for over a year now. We'll be closing in on 2 by the time it's released. And it's just really kind of the culmination of what has been 15 years of work for me. I think it's the best collection of songs that I have, and it's the production behind it is really, really great, and I've got great players performing on it. And when it's all done, I'll be so excited to share it to everybody. And we're doing a little release concert at XPK Live on June 13th. It's, I guess, not a release concert as much as it is a preview concert. I'm going to be playing with the band. We'll play the album front to back and kind of show everybody what we've been working on for this long, and just start getting it out there.
And for all things on Jordan Messerole music, we'll be sure to plug it in the bio below. So check that out on YouTube and on Facebook. You are a songwriter that I think transcends so much in music and dives into life, and it's just great to have someone like you, a musician like you, on the show in the early stages of our program today.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Jordan, let's get to your final song.
Sounds good. Thank you. Dogs on the sand pile and chickens is in the road. Flock comes back one short. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Damn fox got in the hen house. Now the eggs are running low. Well, won't you save 'em for our daughter? I'll just grab a cup of coffee and go. Been operating heavy machinery my whole life. Well, honestly, it's the only work that I really know. They say if you're gonna do something, boy, you'd better do it right. Hell, I could strike a match with a bucket on my backhoe. So I'm just piling up my money to give her everything she deserves. Well, it's no exaggeration when I say everything goes to her. Baby, you'll never have to wonder if I love her, she'll know for sure. And I'll keep proving it until the day they drag me away in a hearse. Been operating heavy machinery my whole life. Honestly, it's the only work that I really know. They say if you're gonna do something, boy, you'd better do it right. Well, I'm good enough to strike a match with a bucket on my backhoe. several $1,000s in a closet in a coffee can. It ain't a pension or a 401k, but it ain't bad. Got hooked on 512 perks, pissed a hot test, and had to pack sand. So that'll have to hold us over till we sell a little bit of this land. I've been operating heavy machinery my whole life. Well, honestly, it's the only work that I really know. They say if you're gonna do something, boy, you'd better do it right. Well, I'm good enough to strike a match with a bucket on my backhoe. I'm good enough to strike a match with a bucket on my backhoe.
We'd like to thank the Brick and Ivy Rooftop in Altoona for sponsoring today's session, and Jordan Messerole for being our guest today. The Blue Collar Tragedies album is out now. Find it streaming everywhere. And give Jordan Messerole a follow on all social media and streaming services. If you're looking to support a future episode, be a sponsor of the show, or would like to submit your music, do so by contacting us by email at barsongsandstories@gmail.com or add us on Instagram and Facebook.